Everybody. Welcome back. I am Malachi,
And I'm Deidre.
and we are the co founders of ShowAssist. If you have any questions about the ShowAssist app at any time during this webinar, you can enter them in the comments and we'll answer them as we go.
Today we are excited to have Tim Gaskell with us. Tim Gaskell has been a lifelong horseman. He has experience with quarter horses, thoroughbred broodmares, and yearlings, and warm bloods. He's been grooming hunter riders and jumpers and Grand Prix dressage, and he's been a professional groom for 12 years. He now has his own business. He's been in business for himself for the past 6 years, and he has clipping clients all over North America with several international and overseas horses. He has pleasure of clipping all horses from pleasure to trail horses, all the way up to those competing at the World Equestrian Games and the Olympics. His focus as a business owner has been trying to be as philanthropic as he can by supporting local horse shows and rescues and educating all groups of horsemanship and grooming. Always wants to continue to learn from horses and have an open mind to an ever evolving industry. We also have joining him this evening is Taylor Mergo. She will be giving her tips on body clipping. We want to share a little video about Taylor now.
Hi, and thank you for tuning in this evening. I'm excited to be here and share some tips and tricks with you as we go through our clipping seminar. My name is Taylor of Taylor Mergo Professional Equine Services, LLC, and I specialize in show ring ready body clipping. I started riding horses at the age of 5, and it has truly been my passion in life. I have had some wonderful opportunities along the way, being able to ride with many knowledgeable professionals on some amazing and talented horses. Horse care and grooming has always been a top priority for me and something I take great pride in. Growing up in Florida and showing both locally and A-circuit shows, I am accustomed to regularly body clipping, not only for the show ring, but also to keep horses cool and comfortable in the Florida heat. I have always ridden in the hunter jumpers, but through clipping, I have had the opportunity to work with individuals in other areas of the horse world as well. We have a lot of great information coming your way tonight, as well as time to ask any questions you may have to Tim, so be sure to stay tuned.
Tips about body clipping and show us some of his techniques.
Well, I hope everyone's having a great day. My name is Tim Gaskell, Tim the Clipper Guy. I just kind of that name because I started my own clipping business. Um, uh, Taylor just introduced herself. She is a fantastic body clipper, and I actually had the pleasure of helping her start her own body clipping business a few years back. So today, I have to thank Amanda Lopez. I'm here at the beautiful Unbridled Farms here in Sarasota. I've been clipping horses all day. Mr. Big behind me is joining us. He's very excited. Um, he's a horse I've been clipping for several years, and is pretty well suited for this job to get him looking show ring ready today. You guys are going to help me with that. So Taylor's going to help me along on a few things and help me get my brain going on helping you guys get some good tips and tricks for body clipping. It's different for every horse. It's different for every situation. So things I tell you today might not work for you, or I might tell you something new today. So we'll work together and, get this rolling. So what I wanted to do first was go ahead and let Taylor um, introduce us into what we use for tools. Today, I believe the video, and correct me if I'm wrong, the video is sponsored by Shapley's, which
Yes.
Shapley's is a fantastic local business for me, made right in Fort Myers, Florida. I live in Naples, Florida. Uh, Fantastic small family company. And they actually, Sally, who works for Shapley's, she actually helped me get started with my business 2 years ago. So I have a lot to thank for her. So Taylor's going to get us started with doing that. And then I'll tell you a little bit more in detail about how we get these guys ready to clip and what we use for the day.
Awesome.
As I mentioned before, Tim and I both use the Wall KM10 clippers, which can be used for the entire body, face, and legs. I also use the Wall KM cordless clippers when clipping parts of the face and the more bony areas of the legs. This is also a great tool to use for horses that are more sensitive about their ears being clipped. For the horse's body, I use the Andes T10 blade as well as the Wall 10 Ultimate Competition blade, which I keep on my cordless clippers for those hard to reach areas. Blade oil is a must when clipping. Oiling the blade reduces friction and keeps the clippers from pulling and snagging as you cut the hair. I find it is best to apply every 20 minutes or when you notice your blade having trouble cutting through the hair. Other things I seem to use on a daily basis include a twitch, which we'll go over more later, and throwaway rubber gloves, which is really just a personal preference. I have found that it keeps the hair out from under your nails and reduces the chance of hair splinters. I hope this helps you better understand what you need so that you are able to get out there and try clipping on your own.
Awesome. Everything that she said is true. It's how we clip. It's how I clip. It's how I kind of help her suggest with the tools that we need to get going. So we use the Wall Cam 10 clippers right here. She's got the airy ones. I have the turquoise ones. I have a few. You always need a backup. They're hard to get right now. I don't think you can get them anywhere. I ordered 2 more a few months ago and still haven't gotten them. So I don't know when they'll be back, but keep an eye out looking for those. They run about anywhere from $250 to $300. They're super lightweight. They're quiet. They're very quiet, and they stay cool all day long. I'll clip 5, 6, 7 horses, and with one clipper, I never have to change out to another clipper because it gets too hot. And the maintenance is quite simple on them. The other thing that she mentioned that we use, also, by the way, we're not sponsored or by Andis or Wall, so we kind of just figure out what's the best way to get your horses looking their best in possible way for them. So we use the Andis T10 Ultra Edge wide blade. It fits universally between the Andis, which I do have a few Andis backup clippers, and the Wall KM10 clippers. I think this blade actually fits most attachable uh, clippers. Now, the reason why I like this setup specifically, again, the Wall best clipper I've used, and a lot of people say, "Oh, well, it must take forever to clip a horse with these." They're actually, if you look online, they are technically, you have to look under dog clippers to find these.
Wow.
But with this setup and having done this, in the previous 6 years, off and on, at show barns I worked at, but straight for 6 years, I can get a horse like Mr. Big, who is all of 18 hands. I can get him done in an hour and a half, quite easily, with this setup. Now, I like the T10 blades because these edges are rounded here. Oh, wrong side. These edges are rounded right here, so I can go in between tendons very gently, which I will show you here in a little bit. And these blades, I find they're a finer cut blade. So actually, the more hair you have, the better they cut, the less product you have to use on them. She also said we have the blade oil. I don't really know that it matters on the blade oil, and its clipper blade oil is the one you kind of find on the shelf everywhere uh, at any tack store. So it's very easy to get. Um, when I start with a fresh blade, I still use a strip of oil right when I start. So I just go along the teeth here, and I'll do a drop on this side, and I'll do 1 drop on the other side uh, in between the mechanism. You can't run your car without motor oil. You can't run your blade without clipper oil. It keeps it running cool. Um, a big thing that I get asked is about the blade cool. the blade spray. I do not use blade spray. I did, and I have not used it in probably 4 years. Maybe I was using it wrong. Maybe I was using it too often. I don't know. But what I found is if you just use clipper oil every, I don't know, 15 to 20 minutes, then I've had no problem. If I have all clean horses, which we're going to show you that here in a minute, if I have all clean horses, I need one blade, one setup, 8 horses all day long. I never have to. Next thing, Wool has a great brand, the Clinic Clip. It is a sanitizer cleaner, antibacterial, fungicidal spray that I use every time between every horse and between the barn. I kind of spray it on everything, wipe it down, because you don't want to be, especially with the H1 and everything going around, you don't want to be responsible for spreading that.
Right.
The other clipper that I use is the Wall Bravura. It's a 5-in-1 adjustable blade head. It goes from a 30 blade all the way up to a 9 blade, I believe. So you can do there's 40, 30, like a 10, like what we use, 4 size, and then wrong about that. But it's very quiet. I can hear it. It's on right now. I don't even think it's on. It's rechargeable. By with problem. Other thing that I keep in my that wasn't mentioned in the video, earplugs. Very helpful. Horses that are sensitive to sound on their head, ears. If you have the horse like a dressage horse does guy work, not side, but the outside clip. Earplugs are, not destroy them, but they're good to have to more for that. Taylor mentioned Twitch. Yeah, Twitch. You make Twitch squeezes. Uh, of course, uh, Twitch obviously not clipping your personal horse. Like for us, we clip other people's horses. We always want to put and then on like to let endorphins release. That finally, really quick, I always keep scissors. I always forks, screwdriver. Then clippers. If I take them apart quick, put them on the blade drive. I towel. I zip ties because when I do the horses, I put zip ties. In case break weight. I don't need towel. Of course, I always have my product. So I'll do prep, but I do that I prep for big horses, but we're a lot of spray on the saddle area. Of course, it's great for mane and tail, but don't spray hunters. Breakers, I know you're watching right now and you're rolling your eyes. Spray that all over, it'd be fine. Please don't do that. We'll out today with Shapley's High Gloss Finishing Spray. It's just comes in aerosol. Nice strawberry scent. I love it. We'll finish up the horse with that today. The thing that you can do is the Shapley's Easy Out spray. If you can't get your horse a bath, spray your horse down with that. Wipe them down, get all the stains out, get the dirt out, and then go from there. And lastly, I always get a nice brush, soft brush, polished brush, and polish for that with when we do the high gloss spray. So Taylor is going to go ahead and tell us about preparing the horse. Now this is a big deal. If you are preparing a horse for a professional coming clip, it is not acceptable to horse a water rinse and let it wet. We like That way, you have your horse. So
All right, give us 1 second, Tim, and we will share her video right now.
There are several things that go into achieving the perfect clip. Not only is preparation and equipment important, but above all else, practice truly does make perfect. Other key factors include your horse's diet and regular grooming, which are as equally important in achieving a flawless coat and shine. Preparation of your horse is a very important step that you do not want to skip when preparing to body clip. A thorough soap bath to remove any dirt, oils, and dandruff from your horse's coat is key to leaving no lines. Secondly, having equipment that is running well and oiled throughout the clipping process, along with using sharp blades, will help you in achieving your goals. Tim and I both use the Wall KM10 clippers along with the Andes T10 blade. Both work together to leave that show ring ready look. As I finish a clip, it is always important to go back and look over the horse for any spots you may have missed, touch-ups on the legs or other hard-to-reach places, and making sure the tail triangle is even and exactly how you want it. To add the finishing touch and leave that endless shine, Tim and I both use and highly recommend Shapley's High Gloss Spray to leave the ultimate shine. Follow these steps and you are sure to be on your way to mastering the art of body clipping.
All right, back to you, Tim. For some reason, your signal was cutting in and out. Can you hear us okay?
yeah, I can hear you guys fine.
Okay, we can hear you now.
I
So
got
we're
that.
going to say no more issues.
Taylor hit the nail right on the head. The art of clipping. I don't really know how else it can be described. I hope that you guys learned some tips today. Uh, but it's kind of funny. There's been a cartoon that goes around that shows everybody when a person clipping their horse when the body clipping season starts. I see it every year, and then patches and they're like, "Well, look, these are on YouTube." You have to say, when I started clipping professionally, which I think is different than, just clipping your horse at home, to keep cool and stuff. When I started clipping professionally, it actually took me 3.5 to 4 hours.
Oh,
I was nervous. I was like, "Oh man, this is somebody else's horse," and
yeah.
I'm just not here good reputation, this and that. So I think that's a good start for getting your horse clean. Did you have anything to add, or was I hearing that wrong?
Oh, no, you were
Oh,
fine.
okay.
Yeah, someone was just asking if we were having some technical difficulties. Yeah, but you're coming through fine now. That
Okay.
was earlier. Yeah, we can hear
Oh,
you just fine now.
okay. Okay, awesome. So, we talked about, giving the bath, using the high shampoo. It's a very gentle shampoo. It won't strip your horse of any oils and stuff. Uh,
Uh-huh.
and it leaves them very shiny. And the thing that I said, you can use on their body before is the magic. Now the magic sheen is it repels the dust and dirt. It's good for detangling manes and tails. Unless you have a hunter, do not use it in a mane and tail if you have a hunter. The braiders will not like it. And like I said, don't use it where your horse's saddle goes, or you'll just slide off. But it's a silicone-based product. They do not use alcohol as a filler, so it's good to spray on the coat of the horse, and it allows the clipper blades to go right through. You can spray it on the horse after you rinse them out and scrape the water off. You can spray it on them wet, or you can spray it dry. Also, they have another product that I use from time to time with horses that have an excess amount of hair, meaning like they haven't been clipped in a long time, or they have cushions or something. They do make an oil that is a wipe on. It comes in a bottle like this. It looks very similar to this. You can put it on a towel, wipe it on the hair, and what it does is it actually keeps the blade oiled, and it puts a little weight to the hair and lets it fall right to the ground. So if you're out here and it's windy, you can just have the hair fall right to the ground. Or if you want to keep it simple, you can also do the high gloss spray before you clip. it is an oil spray, so it's the same thing, really light, and it it doesn't keep grime or cause buildup, but it really makes it for the clipper blade to go through and stay cool.
Okay.
So, any questions so far? There's a lot to go. I know we have 45 minutes, but man,
Oh yeah.
we're like 4 hours.
Oh,
Okay.
We do have one question.
sorry.
Yeah.
Quick question.
Yeah.
Now, when you're clipping for clients, I know you were talking about preparation, like giving them a bath and making sure their coat is nice and like slippery in a way. Do the clients typically do that before you come? Like, do they have that already done?
Yes, that is one of the prerequisites that we have for clipping.
Okay.
If I'm so say I came to this barn today to clip the horses, all of them have bathed either the night prior or this morning while I was clipping another horse and prep for me. Because it takes, if you do a proper prep for me, from time they get wet till time they're dry and ready to clip is about an hour. So I do offer service, and you can offer that service, but no, it's probably going to be, an additional $75. That
Okay.
phone was ringing.
Sounds like
So it will be an additional
asked him-
charge
Okay.
if you have us do it beforehand, or if we show up and the horse is dirty and grimy and hasn't been bathed, we're going to charge you extra, because I have had an instance before where it took me 2 blades to go through one horse because they were dirty.
No.
And I said I would never do that again. So I hope that
someone asked
answers
another
in the best possible way.
Someone asked another
So before we
question,
get
Tim.
clipping,
Can you hear me?
the rest of Mr. Big here, who's been standing here so patiently, he's a saint. We're going to go over one more thing before we clip with Miss Taylor. Safety is a big thing with clipping. And you're like, Tim, the clipper guy, you show us your magic. Well, there's a lot that goes into this other than just clipping. So safety is a huge thing. If you've worked with horses for a long time, you know the gist. If you haven't worked with horses for a long time, this is really important. I think it's important for everyone to know as part of the horsemanship that goes into this. So safety is our number one thing. How we are around the horse, how we observe the horse, where we stand when we clip their legs, how we clip their legs, back legs so we don't get kicked, things so we don't get bit, things so we don't get run over, which has happened to me before, and I've been kicked and I've been bit. It's all part of learning. Doesn't matter if I've been doing horses my whole life. It's all part of it. So Taylor is going to show us a little intro into the safety as well.
Okay, we do have one other question first, Tim, before we show that video. Someone asked, does the horse need to be completely dried off before you start clipping?
Oh, can you hear us?
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, can you hear us? Can you hear us, Tim? Okay, we're gonna play the video and then we'll come back to you. Hold on.
The number one thing to keep in mind when body clipping is safety. Each horse has their own personality. Some will fall asleep while you clip, while others jump out of their skin when they even hear you mention the word clipping. It is important to know your horse's limits as you begin, and if they are giving you signs that they are not happy with what you are doing, it is best to stop and be sure you take the appropriate steps to finish clipping safely. Whether that means the horse with sensitive legs just gets his body done or whatever the case, safety should always be the number one priority for you and your horse. Now, there are certainly some tricks that may be able to help you as well. As briefly mentioned before, I will often use a twitch on the horse's nose for ones that do not like certain areas of the face or ears done. Twitching is a method used to subdue horses without the use of drugs, and unlike drugs, the effect ends almost immediately after the twitch is removed. This method works well for many horses, but not all. If having trouble clipping the horse's legs, having someone assist you in holding up a leg is another helpful way you can get done certain areas of the legs, but again, this does not work well for all horses. Lastly, if the horse must absolutely be clipped and none of the above has worked, sometimes it is necessary for the horses to be sedated. This is not something you should do without first consulting your veterinarian, as this should be discussed on a case-by-case basis. Ultimately, like I said, safety should be your number one focus when clipping your horse.
All right. Tim, can you hear us okay?
Safety is definitely the number one thing. As before I was mentioning, and Taylor mentioned the twitch. I'll kind of show you guys for those that don't understand. There's this too big. I'm just going to show you. I'm not going to actually twitch him because he doesn't need it. He's perfect. So when we twitch a horse on the nose, again, we're doing it to kind of pinch the nose like that. You can do it to yourself. You know, it's not like you're not going to die. That's what I tell people. Some people are like, oh, well, isn't that just going to hurt the horse? I mean, it's uncomfortable, but it's kind of like, you know, when you get in trouble and your grandma, your mom kind of like grabs you by the ear, you kind of like can't do anything. It's kind of like how I like to describe that. You know, they don't really react. I have some horses that do. I have some horses that twitch is no good at all. But it's very rare. So when we do twitch them, twitch them right here on the muzzle, right below the nostril, and squeezing right there. Like here he's messing with it. And so you put the nose right through here and you squeeze it like that. So like my hand's in there and I have it pinched all the way at the bottom. It's holding my hand in place and it's not causing me excruciating pain. It's uncomfortable, yes. But when you squeeze that area on the horse, it releases endorphins. You can use your rope, wrap it around the end of the twitch and clip it to the halter. Or if a horse that is a little bit more explosive, you can have someone help you and hold it. I like this twitch because I clip mostly by myself. Like right now, I'm totally by myself, which is most of my clipping. So it's a good tool to have in the bag. And again, if I was to be clipping a horse where I knew they needed drugs, if I knew the horse and I'd done it a few times and knew it wasn't going to kill me, I wouldn't mind doing it by myself. You can be prescribed drugs through the veterinarian through the horse. Orally is the most common that you can give, or if they need to give it IV, they can come and assist you, and you guys can set up a time to meet together to have that done. So a few other things. I'm going to take you with me here. I can't hear you, but I see this chat.
Okay, great.
Does the horse need to be completely dry before starting clipping? The answer is yes. I don't know. People have asked me before, like asked about wet clipping. I've never heard of that. I don't know of any blades that can do that. If I try to clip a wet horse with this fine blade that I have, it just gums up the blade and then you can't even clip the hair, which that's a whole other thing that we can talk about another time. Or I can make another video out some other time because the clipper maintenance and the blade maintenance is another thing that we could do a whole nother thing on. But safety wise, you know, we cover the twitch. So a lot of times, you know, when you're clipping with the horse, I always start at the shoulder. So reason why I started the shoulder is because this is the spot that when you clip, the horse likes it the most. You scratch their shoulder, you scratch their withers, they do their little lip thing, their little flaming. They enjoy it. They like it. So I always, even though I've been clipping this horse for years, I always start at his shoulder. It's how I introduce myself. It's how I can figure out how he is going to be acting for the day, whether he's in a good mood or not, whether he wants to be clipped or not. So starting at the shoulder tells me a lot. A lot of times too, you know, when I'm standing at the shoulder here, I stand at the shoulder as a good pivot point for if a horse is dancing. You know, when they're connected into the cross ties, they can't really like run their front end into you, and you can kind of push him off of you a little bit like that. He's super sensitive like that. So it makes it pretty easy. So I start here, and then if I have to, I can stand at my pivot point and reach around to the front to clip the chest, or if I have to, reach around the back. If I need to do belly, if I have a kicker, I try to stand as close to the shoulder as possible.
Yeah.
So that way, if he's cow kicking me, which is when they lift up their leg and kick out and back, I'll be missed. Because let me tell you, it hurts. You also don't want to stand directly behind the horse, even though we're going to stand directly behind the horse today. I'm telling you, don't stand directly behind the horse. Also, something that I do want to mention about the sedation for a horse, I said, consult the veterinarian, ask your vet about it. If you have to give an IV shot, if it's not your horse, they need to give it, or you need to have the vet give it
Mm-hmm.
on the safety that covers you in case something happens to the horse, et cetera, et cetera. But now that we got all that covered, I think we can go ahead and start clipping. I'll use in some of the safety things. So we're going to use the time remaining. I don't know if you guys can hear me. I can't hear you. I don't
Yes.
think, unless you're talking right now. We're going to go ahead and finish this side of Mr. Big. We're going to use our Shapley's products to finish him up. If there are any other questions, which is right now, someone else asked, do I have my blades resharpened, or do I always use new blades? Also, how many horses can you clip with one set of blades? Excellent question. The first part I addressed a little bit ago. So with one blade, if I use a brand new blade and I have clean horses, I have gotten as many as 10 or 11 horses out of one blade. They're perfectly clean horses.
Mm-hmm.
And I did my 20-minute rule of oiling, no blade rinse. And do I have my blades resharpened? I do not. Do I support my friends who have blade sharpening businesses? Absolutely, I do. And I suggest, if you're clipping on a budget, you look into it. For me, as a business owner with clipping other people's horses, I use a new blade when I go to every barn. Again, that's part of my protocol for not spreading disease and fungus and germs and all that stuff from barn to barn, horse to horse. Um, I will use the same blade horse to horse within the same barn, unless they have summer sores or they actually have a skin infection, because that can easily be spread. Or, of course, if that horse is sick or in quarantine, just don't clip them. Um, but usually with resharpening, especially the fine blades, is a little harder. You might only get one or two clips if you're lucky, again, out of a blade. Again, this is my experience. I'm not hating on any of my sharpener friends, but I highly recommend you Google search blade sharpening or scissor sharpening in your area, and get in touch with some people, and they'll help you out with getting that. So perfectly clean horses, one blade, 10 horses. Um, right now they're a little bit expensive. You can find them cheap at a few places still, but the average price is in the $40 range right now. So, um, you know, you just kind of charge accordingly. How many horses you do. A box of 12 blades. I buy them by the box right now. Runs you about $500. So that kind of figures into your cost. So let's get Mr. Big clipped. We'll go through some of the safety things as I go along with clipping the legs. And if there are there are other questions too. Okay, everyone replied. Awesome. Okay, so if I can hear you guys again, I'll stop. But I'll be sure to keep coming in, and I'm gonna talk as I clip.
Okay.
You guys that
Sounds
have seen
good.
some of my videos before know it can be a little weeble wobbly. So why don't I just leave it here? We'll clip his body. I'll look at the chat. I'll explain what I'm doing, how I clip it within a Y pattern. Actually, let's go over that real quick. Again, we could do this for 4 hours, guys. It's crazy. All right, I got my clippers on. They're quiet. They have two settings. Low setting right now. Put them in the high setting. That's what I use for the body. And I'm gonna start his body. I've already clipped a little bit for you guys to see. So you can see that his hair is going this way. You can see it growing this way. I like to go a little bit against it at like a 45-degree angle, and then come with it. You're still going against the hair, but you go the same direction as against where it's growing. So 45-degree angle against it, with it, against it, with it. And that's how we get no lines. So 45 against, and then with it. I'll come up a few, and then go back with it. Go all the way down. Now this right here, all right, let's finish this section. We're gonna go against 45-degree angle on the hair. It lifts it, it lifts it, it pushes it into the blade and allows the blade to cut the hair properly. And then you're gonna finish it out. And then you go, oh, mouth. I don't have the sun to show how shiny he is, but you get the idea. So now, yeah, okay, so we're gonna get here into this area right here, into the flank. This is where your hair starts getting a little funky. So we're gonna go, of course, we're going against the hair, but we're gonna go with the way it grows, how it grows. So it's growing from inside to out, back to front. So we're gonna go front to back, front to back. Lightly. I'm not pushing hard. I'm a big guy. People think I have to push hard. I'm not pushing hard. Going like a rainbow. Up and over. Up and over. Now, I made this part a point to tell you guys because it's sensitive. You want to be quick, short strokes. They're ticklers. Now, Mr. Big is not. So don't think your horse is just going to stand here perfectly for this every time. We got little hairs down here. You're going to kind of just graze it a little bit. You can't catch the skin here, so you want to be very gentle. And you go back against it a little bit. Finish all that out like that. Go down it. Go against the hair. Right here into the flank. Got your little whorls up here. So you see when the hair grows, got the hair coming here. It's going out. It's going out. It's coming down. It's going out. It's going out. You got to go against all of that to get every piece of hair. No questions in the chat so far? Okay, good. So we got to go against it this way. We got to come back against it this way. All the way up. You see how the hair is growing in different directions? So we're going to come up here, going against the hair, going right up over the rump. I'm not pushing hard. Just going to make it a little faster. Not pushing hard. You can tell I'm not pushing hard because watch his skin. Watch his muscles. A little bit of pressure goes a long way. It's like with a chainsaw. For your daddy or grandpa with a chainsaw, let the blade do the work. Same concept with this. You have a clean horse and you have clean hair. I'm not pushing. I'm not pressing hard. I'm keeping the blade against the skin like this. I don't know if you can see that. Like that. Allow it to go against the hair. Gonna check a few spots. Okay, and we're gonna come back to one of my favorite spots. We're gonna do the tail triangle. And Mr. Big is gonna step forward for me. Yes. Whoa. Perfect. Oh. So I already did half of it to show you. I'm standing out to the side. I know this horse is not a kicker historically, so I'm gonna keep that in mind. But so my rule of thumb with the tail diamond is you can see, now he's a bay horse. So you got black tail hair, you got brown hair on the skin, brown fur. Other lighter horses, you can see it better. There's a diamond here, an upside, now there's a V. Right here where the tail hair starts, where the fur ends and comes down. What I like to do is I just like to mirror that. Sometimes you see some people go up, that's fine. They come up to here, go out a little bit more, they do it rounded. I just like to mirror the V of the tail right here. So you can see my clippers, it comes right here is where the hair starts. So you see the angle that I did on that top side already on the right, or I guess it's on your left maybe. So that's the same idea that I did with this side. I'm gonna switch hands here. This is working out well. Oh, don't know if you can still see me or what happened. Okay, ooh, question real quick. When you're in the flank area, my horse's skin seems really wrinkly right there. How do I avoid catching the skin? Excellent question. How do we avoid catching that skin? Real quick. So right here in the flank area, you can pull the skin a little bit. See how wrinkly? Not wrinkly, wrinkly, not wrinkly. You can pull it. Some horses that are extra sensitive, you might need another hand. He's lifting his leg because he's like, that tickles. That's fine. So let's go back to the tail. We're going to finish this side here. Doing it in my right hand because that's my dominant hand. We're going to get this out of the way. Let me switch hands real quick. Okay, so we see the diamond of the tail. We see where the tail hair is right here. So we're going to come up right here. We're going to meet right in the middle. Come up the sides, cleaning up. Okay, let's see where we're at. A little off-centered. So we're going to come back around to the other side. We're just going to even it up to the middle. Top of the tailbone is. And voila, your tail triangle.
Nice, nice.
Real quick, let's finish up his neck. I'm going to set you guys up here. I'm going to finish his neck real quick. I already did the legs on him. We're going to run out of time on that, so I'm going to have to make a video for another time. But Taylor kind of showed you in her video about our legs. So we'll finish the neck real quick, and then I'll show you how I finish him up so he can go right in the show ring. So another thing that I wanted to mention about the main line is that I already did up here that I started. You see where the main hair starts, the fur ends. So I left this little patch right here. So what I do is I start a little bit lower of the main line, like that. And you see you got about 1.5 inches of hair. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down from the mane. And I'm going to get that hair. You see, just like that. Kind of gives it a more natural look. And if you have a really furry horse and the line kind of looks a little wonky, you can come back up. Mr. Big, don't move. Thank you. And just clean that up. Voila. You have a mane line. It'll look really nice when it's braided with that mane pulled over. So just go ahead and finish this up real quick. Come back. I got, let's on low, so let's go high. This is a little tricky area right here. The shoulder is really one of the trickier areas when you're clipping because it is really just kind of like bone and skin. There's a little bit of muscle, but it's tricky. So you can manipulate the skin a little bit to pull it tight over the ligaments and muscles. He's like, stop it. To get that clean look. Sometimes horses have a more protruding bone right here. You know, what would be their collarbone, you know, a little more protruding. So you got to like move the skin around a little bit more. But you can do that no problem, really. And even still, when you're clipping the legs, you can manipulate the skin a little bit and kind of up into their armpits, what would be, you know, their elbow area. You can manipulate the skin a little bit to allow you to get every little piece of hair. So I'm coming in here. Thankfully, Mr. Big loves this, so he's stretching out his skin for me. I'm doing this. He's loving that. We're good to go. Now, the thing about, you know, coming in here where the jugular is and the veins, such a good horse. He's making it easy for me. He's stretching the skin for me. I'll set my phone down here in a minute so you guys can see. And again, you got to go against these whirls. You got to find every single whirl, and you got to figure out which direction they're going and go against it. Let me set my phone down for a second. I'll answer those 2 questions in the chat. Let me finish his neck, and then we'll go ahead and finish him out. Here's what I can do with the veins up here. You can see right here. I can manipulate that a little bit without it being too annoying to get that fur up in this area.
Mhm.
Coming into the throat latch area,
Mhm.
same thing. You can manipulate this. If you have a horse that doesn't mind, you can hold up his head, stretch that skin out. And again, you have whorls under here too. You guys got to pay attention to every whorl, every direction that it grows. Stomp into here. You can go against the hair. You can go with the hair, whatever you got to get it. And as long as you're not like grabbing on and holding really hard, the horse is not going to mind it. And if your blade is cool and sharp, it's going to be over really quickly. I'm going to unhook this part of his halter so I can get under his jaw. Let me scoot him back a little. You can use your hand in the halter to hold it out and hold the skin tight down here in his jaw. This over. Come up under their tongue. And the cheekbones and the jawline. Don't have to push hard. Let the blade do the work. Bam. All right, now let me answer these. Oh, three things real quick. Let me answer. Bam. Oh, we have until 7. Okay, excellent. I got a few more minutes. Question from the comments. What does a full body clip usually cost if the horse is fully prepared? Great question. What does a full body clip usually cost? Now that depends. Right now, with everything expensive, a full body clip for me is going to run you $200. I don't know. It's an hour and a half, yes, and that's if the horse is perfectly behaved. That considers in my gas, that considers in my blade, that considers in the oil, everything. Um, a clip, some people, $200, people, that's what it costs, and in a nice way. Um, a lot of people, they spend the time getting to do this. Is this a niche business? Absolutely. Could I be out of business tomorrow because everyone learns how to clip? Absolutely, 100%. Do I think everyone's going to want to clip? No, I don't. But that's why I know different things about horses so I can do other things. But $200 is going to run you for a clip right now. I think some people might still be 150, 175, but a show ready clip where I can come clip the horse and send you to the show ring in an hour and a half is going to be $200. Okay, so real quick. Oh, let's finish his belly real quick. So that way I can show you something a little ticklish here. It kind of goes in with the flank here. So I left a little patch here. So I'm going to leave it on low. These clippers have 2 settings, low, high. We'll leave this at low. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start touching him up here, kind of mid-barrel. And I'm going to come down here and catch the hair. Because I don't want to just start clipping right here. I know he's ticklish here. You know your horse is ticklish. So don't, you can really, if you're just jamming and doing some little clips like that, you can make them angry. Start up here, mid-barrel, come back, pick up. What I find is easiest with a horse, especially a ticklish horse, don't remove the blade from the body. Because that way they're always going, if you're going and you take it off, put it back on, go. I can't make him do it, but because he's so good, but it's annoying when I just keep taking it off. But if I leave it on, he feels it the whole time. These horses can feel a fly and get it off. He is definitely feeling this blade. Um, Coming under here, going against the hair, coming up. Oh, real quick, too, since I have the time. Oh, yeah, we got 10 minutes. Okay, I love clipping, if you guys can't tell. Okay, the reason why these T10 blades, the way I love them so much, and I'm using them only, is not only is the clip awesome. Oh, safety, I'm kneeling down next to the horse's leg here. I'm on one knee, so that way at any time if he's like jumpy, I can push off and get away from the horse. So
Okay.
the reason why I love these T-blades is because without picking up the leg, I can get in between the tendons with the round side. Not sharp, not cut me. My thumb is on it. It is running. I'm pushing pretty hard. No blood. Everything's good. So let me show you real quick. So here's the leg. I got a little of it done already. So I'm going to use the center of the blade for the majority of it. Because their leg is round, you got your cannon bone. I don't like to go straight up the bone. And I don't push hard. I like to go across. I like to go across. I like to go across and up the bone. Because that's going to get rid of your lines. Sometimes you'll go through like this, and you see lines. Especially on the white legs. You just kind of want to go across like that. Coming up to the knee, going across it. Good boy. Good boy. I'm going across it. Going across. I'm not going exactly 100% with the hair. Coming across. This is a very tickler spot here where all the branches of the veins come down to the leg. All you got on the leg is bone and skin and tendon. It's very sensitive. So don't get too mad at your horse when they want to pick up their leg like that. It's okay. Just go back to it, or you can clip and rub. Clip and rub. Take the ticklish out. Clip and rub. Clip and rub. Now, the cool part, these T-blades. Still with me.
Mm-hmm.
You can take the T-blade and go, there's adding the tendon, and then that side of the tendon. This side of the tendon, that side of the tendon. Bam. I didn't have to lift up his leg. Didn't require any help.
Did you see that?
And you got two perfectly clean clipped tendons on this leg. Ooh,
Awesome.
that is nice. That is nice.
Awesome.
So that is why I live and die on the Andes T10 Blade Mountain. So let's finish them up. It's been an hour and a half. You're ready to tack up and go. Bam. Enter Shapley's again. It's a nice spray. Some horses do not like the aerosol spray. Mr. Big is used to it. When he gets fly spray, he uses with an aerosol can. But for general purposes today, I'm going to show you what I like. You can get these on jacks.com. Polishing mitt. Game changer.
Oh.
So, for general purposes, we're going to spray the high gloss spray onto the mitt. Bam. Just like that. And then we're going to go over his body. I'm going to add a little bit more. I'm going to take you guys with me. Go on a trip. Here we go. Did it again. Sorry. We're just going with the hair. Get all that hair off. Leave it with some Shapley's high gloss finishing spray. Oil base. Well, it really is just oil aerosol on there. Look at that. Look at that. Go up, down, get those hairs off. About that. The internet didn't work on my computer today, so we're using the phone. Okay. So we come across. This is what it looks like. He's not slippery, but he's nice and shiny. And he's ready to go, huh, Mr. Big? You ready to go? You ready to go? And that, you guys that have seen my TikTok videos, let's go for the ride down the hair. So we see. No lines.
Oh.
Come across that.
Looking good.
I did the saddle pad. We'll make a video about that another time. Follow me on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Ask me questions. We'll go through it. I'm gonna run through some of these chat questions real quick. Okay, question real quick. 6:55. Question from 648. When doing the face, do you leave hair around the eyes? I've seen someone leave circles around the eyes. Okay, great question. When do you leave the hair around the eyes? I did his eyes before we started. And his a little easier because he's bay brown. Um, so, don't let me clip his halter back for safety. Thank you, Mr. Big. So I did around his eyes. So I do typically right here to the edge. I leave the long lashes here. He has his there. So you can go to the brow right here, that the bone right here. You can kind of blend it. Don't get off. He doesn't have the eyelashes up top, but you can't really see it on him. But I leave this hair right here, and then I kind of when I clip, they usually let me get right up to here. Now, if you have a horse that's really reactive, you might not be able to get that close, but they let me get, most of my horses let me get right up here under the eye, and I leave this hair right here. Other question. Um, do you have tips for getting insides of ears? Yes. Okay, for getting inside the ears, it can be easy, it can be difficult, depends on the horse. So that's when I go to my wall bravura. That's the ones without the cordless, with the battery. You can do it. You can use the twitch. Sometimes I'll show him Mr. Big. I don't do his inside of his ears because of dressage. But here's what I'll show you real quick is that I kind of put my thumb inside their ear like that. I think the biggest thing is not only the vibration, but they're worried about the hair getting down the ear. So I'll hold my thumb like that, and then I'll hold my clippers with this hand right here, and then get down into the ear. As close I can to my thumb without letting the hair fall down into the ear. So I hope that answers that question. I'll do the one more. Do you do the front of the face? Yes, I do. Did we do the front of your face big? We kind of did. I kind of did the front of his face before we started, but I'll show you a little bit because I still have to finish him up after this. But yeah, I do. Some horses I can't. There's one here that I don't. He's very sensitive, so I just don't. But you can get all the way up, and I'll finish this when we're done. But all through here, all the way down, I don't do the muzzle. Usually nowadays I don't do the muzzle because it's just becoming common practice to leave the ear hair and leave the whiskers on the muzzle. So we're at 59 minutes. It's 6:58. We could do this for hours. Deidre, I can't hear you guys. I don't know if your mic's off or something. I know I'm on my phone. I'm sorry, but I really hope this has helped you guys. If you have any other questions, if you watch this video afterhand, please in the comments, I'll try to answer every single question in the next couple of days. Check out all my socials. You can message me, ask me questions there. Happy clipping. Thank you, Deidre and her daughter. I'm honored to be a part of everyone else who was part of this series. We do one horse at a time, one day at a time. So I hope everything really was informative. And I'll see you guys soon. See you around.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Tim, for joining us today. Very informative webinar. Great tips. We're so excited to have him today. We're going to be doing some giveaways this evening. So if you've been watching, now is the time to put a comment in the chat to let us know that you're there. We'll do the giveaways shortly. We're going to tell you a little bit about the Equestrian Aid Foundation. The Equestrian Aid Foundation is a foundation based out of Wellington, Florida. They assist people from all corners of the horse world within the United States who are coping with catastrophic injury or illness or occurrence. They are horsemen helping horsemen. They provide support and hope when it's needed most. And for the past 25 years, thanks to the compassion and support of friends and colleagues in the equestrian community, EAF has been able to give over $3.2 million in direct aid to horsemen and women in crises across America. So if you are in need of temporary assistance, please visit their website at equestrianaidfoundation.org. All right.
Awesome. So now we are at our giveaways. Today, our giveaways will include products from Shapley's and gift cards from Farm Vet and Chipotle. So we're excited to be giving those away. So
who do we have? Who's been on? Just put your name in the chat. Let us know that you've been watching and that you've enjoyed the webinar this evening. We're going to go ahead and get started. And first, we're going to give away our Shapley's gift bag, with a bunch of the goodies that Tim mentioned throughout the webinar. And who does that go to, Mally?
So the Shapley's product box will be going to Leslie Brendel.
Leslie, thank you so much for your wonderful questions and comments and for joining us this evening. It was so great to have you on. We also have a Chipotle gift card that we would like to give away, and that goes to who?
So that will be going to Megan. Let me not mess up your last name. McCallum.
Thank you so much, Megan, for joining us this evening. Please send us a message on Facebook, and we'll connect with you and get your mailing address so that we can get you your Chipotle gift card. We also have one other that we'd like to give away, and that is a Farm Vet gift certificate. And who are we giving that away to?
All right. So the Farm Vet gift certificate, we'll be giving that to Sylvie.
Sylvie, thank you so much. I tell you, you're on a winning streak this webinar series. Thank you so much for joining us. We greatly appreciate it. We have one more webinar in our series that will take place next Tuesday. That one is for newbies. It will be on Show Grooming 101. If you know anyone, or if you yourself are fairly new to show grooming and you would like to brush up on your skills or learn new skills that will be helpful as you pursue your grooming career, we'd ask that you join us next Tuesday at 6 p.m. live on Facebook. Thank you again for joining us this evening, and we will see you next time.
See you next time.
Thank you.